Go
Is that
ahead.
okay?
Go ahead.
Medical, uh, you're joined with 14,000 clerical, administrative, and skilled trade workers who provide services at California's University of California and state campuses, medical centers throughout the state. We are proudly affiliated with 1.4 million members throughout the United States, Canada, and Puerto Rico, who fight for better working conditions to win for fair wages, benefits, and rights at work for all members so that you have a voice in the workplace. You know, being a member, you have access to many Teamster benefits. You will have one of our union representatives who will guide you, and you can make a difference by becoming a steward. I served as chief steward during my 14 years working at UC Irvine. That position allowed me to learn to represent members' concerns and issues, to educate them about their wine garden rights and privileges. Now, the remaining speakers will give more details about all that we have to offer you as a member. But now, allow me to introduce you to our Secretary Treasurer of Teamsters Local 2010 and Director of IBT Public Services Division, my Teamster brother, Jason Rabinowitz. Good morning, Jason.
Thank you, Catherine. I appreciate it. So thanks to everybody for being with us. We have over 150 people on this meeting now. We're in webinar format, which in Zoom land means that our speakers are on the screen. Everyone else is in watch and listen only mode. But if you have questions, you can enter them in the Q&A function or in the chat. And we will do our best to get to every single question. Hopefully the presenters will be answering some of the questions. We've had some that have come in before, and we'll try to get to all of them. And we'll also be talking as we go forward from this meeting. So I want to welcome all of the administrative officer twos to the Teamster family, to Teamsters Local 2010. I'm Jason Rabinowitz, Secretary Treasurer of Teamsters Local 2010. And as Catherine said, I'm also Director of Public Services Division, which is the division of the Teamsters Union that represents about 200,000 public service workers in the Teamsters Union. And as one of the things we'll be talking about, some people think of Teamsters as maybe truck drivers or other industrial workers. Our union represents every kind of worker from A to Z. We say from air traffic controller to zookeeper and everything in between. And in Local 2010, we unite 14,000 plus workers in higher education, as Catherine said, at University of California and CSU. We have clerical, administrative, and skilled trades members. We're very proud of the work that we do, keeping University of California running every day. So I'm gonna have more to say about all of that, but I thought we would start with a quick video, which is a welcome to the Teamsters video that gives some information about our union, and you hear from members across the country. Amy, can we put that on? Sound's not working. Maybe I just did this on an earlier webinar today, Amy. Maybe I can share my screen and show it. Yeah, you have to click share the sound. That's the issue. Okay.
Welcome to the International Brotherhood of Teamsters.
We are 1.4 million strong working men and women across North America, including over 200,000 workers in public service.
We serve the public in cities,
in counties,
state and federal service,
in schools and universities.
We protect and serve the community.
We care for and guide our children.
we fight fires. We keep the lights on and the systems running safely.
Our work makes America work.
What does it mean to be in a union?
It's simple. The union is working people standing together to bargain for fair wages, benefits, and working conditions.
Unions even the playing field for all workers by standing up against greed and injustice in the workplace.
That's why union workers, on the average, are paid 28% more than non-union workers.
Unions have brought us the weekend, overtime pay, health care, retirement security, vacation, sick leave, and family leave, and lifted millions of working people into the middle class.
As Teamsters, we have union stewards and representatives to stand with us on workplace issues.
We take action together to win respect in the workplace.
Job protections against layoffs or unfair discipline.
A retirement with dignity after a lifetime of service.
A safer work environment.
And the tools needed to effectively serve our community.
As a Teamster member, we have a voice in our workplace and a say in our future.
We elect our bargaining team and union leaders.
We decide union priorities in bargaining.
We make up the team that sits across the table to bargain as equals with management.
We vote on our union contract, the terms and conditions of our employment.
As Teamsters members, we have exclusive benefits as well.
Like Teamster scholarships for our families.
Free tuition for online classes.
Workplace accident insurance.
Members-only discount programs.
Insurance and free hardship grants.
Standing together with our union, we accomplish great things which we cannot do alone.
Sign your Teamster membership card today.
Stand with us.
Get involved.
Become a member of the Teamsters.
And be part of a movement that stands for dignity,
Equality.
And respect.
For all working people.
We're Teamsters.
We're Teamsters.
We're Teamsters.
Our work makes America work.
And when we stand together, we win together.
Welcome to the International Brotherhood of Teamsters, America's strongest union. I'm Jim Hoffa, General President. Together, we've accomplished great things for working people. But in the face of great challenges, there's still more to do. So we invite you to join the Teamsters Union, because we're only as strong as our members, and we stand together, we win together.
All right. Well, hopefully you were able to hear and see that. It gives you some sense of what our union's all about. I know you have a lot of questions. I want to start by, again, welcoming everybody to the Teamsters Union. We'll say a little bit more about the process that got us here. First, I want to talk a little bit about what our union is all about. Our union is just nothing more and nothing less than working people standing together in order to bargain together for fair pay, fair benefits, and fair treatment at work. Many of you have probably realized in your experience as individuals going up to, dealing with a powerful institution like University of California that has billions of dollars, is one of the largest institutions in the country. An individual person doesn't have a lot of power, doesn't have a lot of say-so. But when we stand together in our union and bargain together, we actually have quite a lot of power, because the university can do without one or two of us, but they can't do without all of us. And all the 1,000+ administrative officers across the system keep UC running every day, along with the 14,000 Teamsters and 200,000 workers at UC that keep the university running. And so when we stand together, we have the power that we need in order to win some fairness and some fair treatment. And we've been doing that in Teamsters Local 2010. I'm very proud of our union because over the past 10 years, we've been working very hard to build our strength by getting our members involved and active, maintaining a very high level of membership. We have many hundreds of trained union stewards who are members who volunteer to assist coworkers in grievances and representation. So we have a lot of trainings. We have trainings on health and safety. We have training on how to be a steward, how to organize our coworkers. And most importantly, our members stand together and take action together. And as a result, we've won a strong contract. This is our contract. You'll all be getting a copy of it either online or in the old-fashioned book form. But this represents all of the rights that we've won by standing together in our union. And in Local 2010, we work very hard to enforce the rights that are in this contract. Now, as a result of the decision from the state of California, administrative officers are now covered by this contract, which means immediately as of the time of the decision, which was, I think, a few days ago, all the AO2s have all the rights that are in here. And that's a big deal because when you're non-union, you don't have many rights. They give you a raise if they feel like it, and if they don't feel like it, they don't give you a raise. I'm seeing in the chat, lots of people are concerned, and understandably so. UC decided because of COVID, hey, we're freezing non-union workers' rights, non-union workers' pay. And those that have been around know that's not the first time this has happened. During the last economic downturn, non-union workers at UC went many years without a raise. But when we have a union contract, we bargain for guaranteed raises that the university has to provide. And so while they froze non-union workers' pay, members covered by this contract got their raises in July. So now we're in the position that we get to bargain for raises for AO2s and for placement on the step structure. And so instead of just taking what they give us, now we have the right to sit down and bargain at the table as bargaining partners, as equals with the university. And that's a big deal. Many other rights in this contract. We can't be disciplined without just cause. We have a grievance procedure that if they do violate the contract, that we have the right to protest that and to have it decided by a neutral arbitrator instead of a university official who may not be neutral. We have union representation from trained professional union representatives in Teamsters 2010. We have access to all the training programs. We have layoff protection, preferential rehire rights, lots and lots of rights in this contract. I really urge everybody to look at the contract, familiarize yourself with what's in it, because together we're going to enforce these rights. Also, I really urge you to check out the union's trainings. We're going to have a steward training coming up. Our steward trainings are open to all members, not just stewards. Of course, we hope that people will want to volunteer and become a steward, but any member can attend and learn more about our rights. As a matter of fact, one of the rights we've bargained in this contract is training and development time, which we can use to attend union steward training, which means you actually can attend the training on paid time, training and development time. So it's a big win for administrative officers to now have union protection. Now, some people, may be under the impression, well, the union's not for administrative professionals. The union's for truck drivers and coal miners and auto workers and so on. But the fact of the matter that anyone that is working for a living, especially dealing with a powerful institution like University of California, benefits from having union protection and the rights that come with it. And in the Teamsters Union, we represent all kinds of workers. We have doctors, we have lawyers, we have, as you saw in there, we've got firefighters, public safety, and deans of community colleges, principals of public schools. I don't care who you are or what you're doing. If you're working for a living, even if in a high level position, a union is better for you because the university will give you a fancy title. They're happy to do that. But what they won't give you is any kind of rights or say so over your pay and benefits and over your future. And with the union, we have that kind of that kind of protection. The Teamsters Union is a powerful union, 1.4 million strong across the United States and Canada and Puerto Rico. Our local union is 14,000 strong, Local 2010. We're a statewide union representing University of California and CSU workers, clerical, administrative, and skilled trades workers. We really benefit from being affiliated with the Teamsters Union because it's a very powerful union. We have strong political program, lobbyists in Sacramento and Washington who look out for workers' rights and workers' interests, and the resources that we need to take action effectively. Like you can see behind me here, this was us a couple years ago when we were in our fight for this contract, and our members had to come out to the regents meeting and let the regents know that they needed to be fair to us. And we had the Teamster truck there showing our strength. And we had to fight very hard for this contract. UC did not want to give us very much at all. We even had to go on strike. We even had to, go to the regents meeting. We even had to shut it down once or twice. We had to go to the legislature. We had to lobby, but we do all of those things together in order to win fair treatment. And we're going to keep on doing that. And being united with the 1,000+ administrative officers makes us stronger, and it makes you stronger because now we have a bigger. The more we have a bigger portion of the workforce, we call it union density, the stronger we are when we sit down with the employer to bargain for our contract. So the university loves to play games with classification of workers because they want us to be weak and divided. They don't want us to have a lot of strength when we sit down at the table with them. So one of the things they do is they misclassify people, and they say, "Oh, you don't belong in the CX unit. You belong here at non-union." Why? They'd rather deal with people non-union. They'll give you a fancy title and make a lot of promises, but a lot of people find out that they end up getting stuck for many years with no raises, or they end up behind where they might have been if they had a union contract with guaranteed raises, and we see that all the time. So this is an upgrade. This means you keep every title and every job duty and function and right that you had, but also now you have the right to bargain for fair pay, guaranteed raises, and rights at work. So this is an improvement, and we hope that everyone will get involved. And so basically what happened was that the university had misclassified AO2s as outside of the bargaining unit, and we filed a case with the State Public Employment Relations Board, who ruled that the AO2s are properly classified in the CX unit because there is a community of interest with the CX bargaining unit. So as of that time, we're united now under the Teamster banner. So we're going to hear from some members, and then we're going to talk about next steps. And the most important thing is that we all need to get involved in the union. We're going to ask everybody to join the union, to participate, consider becoming a steward, come to meetings. We're going to have a bargaining survey and elect a bargaining team because we're going to go in and bargain for our pay instead of just taking what they give us. Most importantly, together we're going to be stronger, and we're going to do better. If things are going well for you at work, that's great. They will continue to go well. If you're dealing with difficulties with supervisor or your rights not being respected or your pay being frozen or whatever it may be, now we have the power to take on these issues that are important to us. So with that, I'm going to turn it. Who's our first speaker?
Melody?
Is it Melody? Okay, wonderful. Well, first we have Melody Walls from UC San Francisco. Thanks for being with us, Melody. Go ahead.
Sure. Hi, my name's Melody Walls, and I currently work at UCSF San Francisco in the cardiology department. I started with UCSF a little over 2 years ago, 2018. And I can honestly say it's been a bit of a roller coaster working in that department, but I just was disappointed to know that, you know, the AO2s were not a part of the union. And I think that's really important, especially working, you know, for a university institution. So I was approached a little while ago by the union, and they, you know, kind of went over everything with me, and I thought everything sounded great, you know, with what I was going through in the cardiology department. So, you know, they asked me if I would attend a hearing back in January 8th to be exact. And I hesitated, and then I thought about it, you know what, this is going to be, you know, best for me and my future. So I decided to participate. And I just found out that we won the contract, which I'm very happy to know. I think I was the only one that testified at the time. So I kind of spoke up for all of us, all of the AO2s, the whole AA group. So I'm happy to hear that we did win. That was a huge victory for us. Then actually I was asked and approached by the Teamsters Union to speak at the UC Board of Regents meeting, which was held on September 15th. And I just basically spoke and told my story and just let them know, you know, it's really a bad time to lay off people and do any cutbacks you know, during the pandemic. It's just not a good time to do that. And then next thing you know, on August 26th, I received my layoff notice that I was being laid off due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So I immediately contacted Teamsters. I spoke to my representative, which was Kimberly Aguirre, which I love her to death. She was on top of it. She immediately jumped in there and she got Mary Higgins involved, and Mary is a beast. I love you, Mary. They got involved, and next thing you know, a couple of weeks later, I got an email and my layoff was rescinded. So I was so extremely happy. I was shocked that it happened so quickly. But if it wasn't for Kimberly and Mary, big clap, hands up for you guys. I don't know what I would do, because I would be laid off as of November 3rd. So I really, really appreciate all of you guys' help. And I'm very happy and excited to be a part of the union. So thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you, Melody.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
and go Mary. Mary's our union rep at UCSF and our vice president, and does fantastic work representing our members. Thank you, Melody.
You're welcome.
Okay, and so I think next is Barbara. Is that right?
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
Barbara, I'm sorry, I don't want to be, I want to give you a full introduction. Barbara Carvelat from UC Berkeley. Thank you for being with us. Go ahead.
Thank you. I am with Berkeley at the law school, as Jason said. I was a clerical worker when Q became part of the Teamsters, and that's been about 10 years ago now. But after a few years in that position, I got as a union member, I got promoted to an AO2 position and bumped out of the union. In the time since that, a lot of issues with my then supervisor started coming to light. Those included biases based on age, both age, race, and gender. Fortunately, that biased supervisor is no longer there. One of the primary reasons being that the represented employees in my unit were able to speak up to address the issues. I didn't have a lot of protection, but I was able to add my voice to theirs because so many of them who were represented were speaking out. So I avoided a lot of the bias for years, but I do have some ongoing equity issues because of that supervisor. At the time, I had no one to fight for my issues. I could bring them to my current supervisor, but he was also part of the problem that created the inequity, in addition to the former supervisor. And now that we have COVID, we're facing curtailment and potentially layoffs. I'm just really thankful that I'm back in the Teamsters again, so I have bargaining power for my salary, for my ongoing equity issues, but also to be better protected from potential furloughs and possible layoffs.
The layoff is big.
Okay, thank you, Barbara. Okay, next we're going to have introduction of our union representatives. So I'm going to turn it to Tanya Akel. Tanya is our field director for Local 2010 and a great leader in our union and in our labor movement. Tanya, please go ahead.
So I'm so excited to meet all of you. Hopefully one day we can actually meet in person. I wanted to introduce to you, we have a great team, staff team that support the stewards that are actually in the workplace. Hopefully some of you may choose to step up once you learn more about the union and become leaders in your own right and become stewards. But you have a team supporting you. The union rep is full-time staff. Actually, most of the ones that we're going to meet today used to work at the UC. I worked at UCLA and decided to make our commitment to the union full-time and love doing it and love empowering folks. But when you're no longer alone, so if you have a question, problem, and issue, you can now contact your union rep, which is why we want you to meet them. In this meeting, it's a short meeting. We're trying to give you a broad overage, but basically we're going to need meetings in each of the locations to go over maybe some specific issues or questions you have there, and also so that you can get to know your union rep. But the important thing to remember is you are no longer alone. If you are facing an issue, a question, if life happens, and a lot of life is happening to all of us lately, you have a million Teamsters behind you, backing you, supporting you with professionalism, a formal legal contract, and also great caring and what I believe in, love. So know that, feel that, and now with that, I want to introduce our perhaps the I don't know how to describe her, but Mary Higgins is a long-term leader in the labor movement, our vice president, and is the union rep at San Francisco. So I'm going to let the reps introduce themselves to you. So when you get a call, you may be getting the calls or emails from your union rep or from our team of organizers reaching out to help you and get you more information. So go ahead, Mary.
Oh, I didn't know I was going to speak. Well, we're going to be having a Zoom meeting next on the 28th at noon. It'll be sent out to everybody at UCSF, and the organizers that have been contacting you will be on the call also. And so it'll be more specific to UCSF at that point in time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary.
In the meantime, my information's on the website. We're all available 24/7, so don't hesitate to give me a call. And it's on the website. You can look up your rep for each campus, and all my information is there.
And next we have Eve Kent, represents workers at UC Irvine, UC Riverside, and UC San Diego campus. Our other rep for UC San Diego, who normally would handle health and campus, is beautifully at home with her new baby on maternity leave, but she'll be back. So I want to introduce Eve Kent.
Hello, everyone. I had an opportunity to via phone and email to meet with a lot of you, and I hope we'll have the opportunity to have these nice long discussions, more of them in the future. I worked at UC Riverside for 10 years, and I've been with the Teamsters now for 7, 8, lose count. They got kind of blurred. Yeah, you do have, you're not alone, as you know, Tanya had mentioned. That's the one thing that I can always promise everybody. We might not be able to immediately give you a resolution, but you don't face any of your issues alone. And that is something that, you can all count on. As for the meetings, because I have a bunch of different locations and we're looking at perhaps what might be more fitting for the different locations would be to scale them down to departments. We do have a lot of help from, as Melody mentioned, Kimberly's working with me. Some of you got emails from the organizers, and you'll have all of us as resources moving forward. So thank you all, welcome, and I hope to talk to you soon.
Thank you, Eve. And next I want to introduce Liz DeRolay, who represents our members at UC San Diego Health.
Hello, everyone. It's nice to see all your familiar faces, or hear or I know that you're there at least. I started my union career as a shop steward, so welcome aboard, and I'll be around.
Thank you, Liz. And next we have Joseph Meyer at UC Berkeley and Office of the President.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Joseph Meyer. I'm your union rep for UC Berkeley, Lawrence Berkeley National Lab, and UCOP. I originally came from within the bargaining unit and worked at Central HR as a member. Was there for about 4 years, and I've been your Teamster rep for just a little over 3 years now. And I'm here day or night, so you guys give me a call. Barbara, thank you for speaking. And I'm glad that the workers stood together to get rid of that manager, because that person needed to go because she caused a lot of problems. And she did speak truth to power, like everyone stood together, and that's how you guys get things done. So I look forward to speaking with all of you, and we'll be having meetings in the next couple of weeks.
Thank you, Joseph. And next we have Rocio Torres. Rocio Richards, I'm so sorry. And she is also a longtime steward leader and now full-time staff. And she's at UC Davis Health, UC Santa Cruz, and UC Merced. Quite the assignment and quite the leader. Thank you, Rocio.
Hi, everyone. I'm Rocio Richards, and I'm your union rep for UC Davis Health, and I do come from the health system. I was there 13 years before coming to work for the union, and I'm also the labor rep at UC Santa Cruz and UC Merced. And you will be hearing from either me or one of the organizers who is helping me regarding setting up meetings. So look out for those, and my contact info is on the webpage. So any questions between now and then or anytime, just email me, call me, text me. I'm here.
Also at UC Davis, on the campus side is Mike Erazo. Mike.
Hi, Mike Erazo. I'm your rep at the UC Davis campus, as well as UC Davis A&R, Agriculture and Natural Resources. Originally started off at UC Berkeley, was there for 15 years. I know that we said we're available 24 hours a day. I do prefer to sleep at night, but if that's when you need me, that's when I'll be there. So feel free to text, call, email me anytime, and I'll be reaching out to my folks tomorrow.
Thanks, Mike. And we also have Larry Young at UC Santa Barbara. Larry.
Hi, everyone. My name is Larry Young. I'm the union rep, the Teamster rep at UCSB. I've worked for 8 years in the library, and starting in 2016, I took over the rep duties. And I still fondly remember the first meeting I attended, and Tanya getting me involved and getting me off to the first stewards training. So I really recommend that for everyone. If you get a chance, really do the stewards training. Very, very interesting. Guarantee you'll have a lot of fun. And I look forward to meeting you all, and I'll be sending out a meeting invitation shortly. Thank you.
Thank you. I think that's the union rep staff.
Great. Okay, as you can see, we have a tremendous team of union representatives who do a great job of representing our members and standing up for our rights and winning together with our union stewards. I'm watching the chat, and I'm seeing questions about curtailment and layoff And yeah, so this is one of the important things about being in the union. When you're non-union, they can lay you off or curtail operations, which is another way of saying a furlough, at will, and you have no rights and no say-so in that. With the union, they have to bargain with us. They have to follow the contract, and they have to bargain with us before they make changes like that and impose those sort of changes. And we've been working very, very hard since this COVID crisis started to stand up for our members and protect our members' rights. And you know, it's always good to have a union protection, but during the current pandemic, when literally our lives are on the line and certainly our livelihood is on the line, it's very, very important to have union protection. And so, you know, you should know that as soon as this virus hit our country, our union stepped up, and we've been working around the clock protecting safety. We've won the right for many thousands of our members to telecommute safely from home. We've won PPE and distancing and other safety measures, training, and we've fought for that tooth and nail all across the system to keep our members safe. Also, just as important, we fought to protect our members' jobs and livelihood, holding off layoff, and you know, whether it's going to the regents or the legislature, meeting with the university on an almost daily basis. We've been very successful in protecting our members' livelihood at this time. They wanted us to forego our raises. We said, no, we're not doing that, while the non-union folks did. And now that they're trying to, unfortunately, impose this curtailment, which again is just another way of saying a furlough, they're trying to get sneaky about it. But we're going to be fighting that as well. Because, you know, our view of things is that the workers at UC have worked hard to make the university into one of the wealthiest, most successful institutions on the planet. They've got $5 billion plus in reserves. So now that there's a crisis at hand, UC should be standing with its workforce and protecting its workforce, not imposing pay freezes and cuts and curtailments and layoffs. That's no good for the workforce, and it's no good for California. So we've been fighting very hard on that, and we hope that you will all get involved in that fight now on the curtailment. When we go to the regents, whether it's in person or virtually, when we take action, have a petition, whatever it may be, we hope that you get involved, because now you stand to benefit from being part of this union. We have questions in the chat about why didn't this happen before the raises? Well, yes, we would have loved it if we could have got the AO2s into the unit before the July raise, when you guys had a pay freeze and our existing members got their raises. We've been fighting for this for some time. We filed the case with PERB a long time ago, seems like a year or two ago. But state of California, you know, the labor board takes their time and they issue their decision whenever they get to it, and they did it when they did it. Unfortunately, it was after July, but nevertheless, we have the right to go into the table and make our demands. And so when we send around a bargaining survey, I invite everybody to put in there what's important to you. What is it that you would like the union to stand for in terms of raises, benefits, rights at work, whatever it may be. So this is, you know, your opportunity to be involved in decision making around your terms and conditions of employment. A couple of, so as Mary mentioned, we're going to be holding location meetings at all the campuses. We urge you to go to that. You're going to be hearing from our union representatives and organizers about getting involved in the union. Most importantly, we ask every AO2 to join the Teamsters Union. And because we're a membership organization, the way that the law is set up now, everyone needs to affirmatively sign up to membership in order to participate. That does include that we ask everybody to contribute your fair share of dues. Now, Teamster dues are what pay for everything that we do. University has billions of dollars. We can't match that, but we do have a great staff of representatives. We have attorneys, we have researchers, we have communications, we have lobbyists. We have a lot of resources that we bring to bear in order to win fair pay and benefits for the members that we represent. Of course, all that costs money, and we don't get money from corporations or the government or anywhere else. The only way that the union has resources is because everybody kicks in their share of dues. And Teamster dues are 1.44% of salary, which is the equivalent of 2.5 times your hourly rate of pay for a full-time employee. And that's on regular pay, not overtime pay. And so the way it works is that we'll be asking everybody to sign up. There's a membership form. We have a DocuSign version of it, so that in pandemic times people can sign up online. And yes, all the questions will be answered. I see the chat. We'll go through them. We're trying to get through the basics here. Yeah, so it's the question is it's 1.44% of salary, so that it's a deduction that's on your paycheck for each pay period, like all the other deductions that are on there. We will not charge dues to anyone in the AO2 group until we have our bargaining and we pass our pay package. Okay, so you sign up for membership now, but the deductions won't start until later. I want everyone to understand there's nothing that happens without the members voting for it. So before this contract becomes our contract, first we survey all the members. The bargaining team is elected by the members. It's made up of the members. And before whatever is, and the bargaining team follows the members' priorities. And then when we come back with what we've bargained, the members have to ratify it before it comes the agreement. So union workplace is a democracy. When you don't have a union, you take what they give you, you have no say so. In the union workplace, we elect our leaders, all of our, myself and Catherine and Mary, all of our officers are elected every 3 years. You like what we're doing, you re-elect us. You don't like what we're doing, you vote in somebody else. So it's democracy in action. So let's take some of the questions. Yeah, there's going to be a bargaining survey and nominations for the negotiations team. So as we've said, there's going to we get to bargain over the pay rate, where people go on the scale. Everyone will try to get everybody up as high as we can. No one's going down, obviously, in terms of pay from being a Teamster. And also the contractual raises that are in the contract going forward the contractual raises going forward you are now covered by. So the negotiations team is elected by the members, and so we'll be doing nominations and election for our bargaining team. And typically we do one representative for each campus. Finally, bargaining survey will go out to everybody, so everyone will have the opportunity to put in their opinion about what should be our priorities in bargaining. Our priorities in bargaining are what the members' priorities are. So, okay, with that, why don't we go to the questions? So the question, will we be negotiating back pay for the July 1st, 2023% raise that AO2s didn't get because of the salary freeze? Well, again, we can go to the table and bargain for whatever it is that the members ask to be their priorities. Of course, whatever we bargain for, we've got to get the employer's agreement. We can certainly bargain for a retroactive raise. University of California has in the past been very difficult in terms of retroactive raises, but this is something we can absolutely push for. And I want to say, you know, what we're able to win at the table is going to be determined in large part by the level of member involvement and action that we're able to generate. The university will know how many people are joining the union, how many people are active and involved, what it is that we're ready to do and able to do to take action together to affect their business. You know, last time, like I mentioned, we had to show them that we were ready, willing, and able to take a strike, and because we hadn't done that before. And we showed them that we are able to do so, and that establishes our credibility going forward. The university is going to be looking to see what are the AO2s willing to do, and how much are they standing together. Okay, I see dues. So yeah, the dues are a percentage of salary, which means that the percentage doesn't change. When we get a union raise, then that means that the dues continue to be the same percentage, but the dues are going to be a little bit higher. Now, dues end up being, you know, a few cents an hour. What we're able to win in terms of raises, benefits, protection at work are worth much, much more than that. And so we really urge everybody to get involved. Let's see. So we will, can we negotiate our own pay with supervisors, managers? So typically in our contract, we have guaranteed across the board raises. That's an important principle for us as a union because it stops the employer from engaging in favoritism. For non-represented workers, even if there is a raise, usually it's merit-based, which means that if your supervisor likes you, then they'll give you the raise, or they'll give you a higher raise. If they don't, then they'll give you a lesser raise or no raise at all. So we have guaranteed raises in our contract. There are also opportunities in the contract to request equity increases and other forms of raises. And looks like Mary wants to add to this. Mary, did you have...
I just want to say that we've learned over time that across the board raises the basic rate. And so that when we were, prior to the Teamsters, we were falling more and more behind. And we had an economist come and teach us about merit increases, and that it's sort of a shell game that UC sort of wins with it, but that the base pay stays low. And so that's one of the reasons why. And relatively speaking, I do think, just looking quickly at salaries, I think that your base pay is low. And that's a negative impact from merit.
Okay, thanks, Mary. We have a question. Please say more about accrual of vacation and sick time. How is it different? This is going to be important to people. Does anyone know the difference between vacation and sick in our contract, Mary?
Well, they have PTO, and some of their PTO has to go into the extended sick leave bank. And I think that you can't access that sick leave until you use 33 days or something like that before you can access your own sick leave. But you can't really use it for vacation either. And so what will happen now is that you'll earn separate banks of vacation, sick leave, and so that you can use them according to the contract. And then for extended sick leave, that's part of workers' comp benefit, and it's richer than what you have. It's the department basically pays, as opposed to you having to use your own time. And if you run out, then you don't get the benefit of the extended sick leave. So it's sort of a long answer, and we can go over it later, but there's an advantage to sick and vacation, but I believe the accrual is the same. Total So you just can't use you can't use it as much. You're not as free to use it because a portion of it goes into this extended sick leave bank.
Can we just make one clarification? Is that all right?
Ready? Yes.
PTO does not apply to all locations. So for the percentages that they use to calculate are the UC percentages that they use to calculate what you're going to earn, and PTO may or may not be applied to you. If it doesn't apply to you, then you're not going to see a difference in your accruals. Now, of course, maximums for vacation changes based on years of service, but accruals are the same.
Okay, thank you, Eve and Mary. So we have a question. Why were all the AO2s not asked to participate in the court case? So the way it works under California law is that if there's a group of workers that is less than that is misclassified outside of the represented bargaining unit, because they're performing work which is similar to the work that's being performed by the represented workers, that there's a process called accretion, where the state of California will classify the group of workers as part of the existing bargaining unit and give them union representation. And that's based on the fact that there's what we call a community of interest between the workers who are represented and the group of workers who are not having union representation. So that's the way that the process works. And so as a result of this decision, everyone that's in the AO2 classification is now represented and is covered by the CX Teamsters contract, has union representation and all the rights and benefits that goes with that. You also have the opportunity to join the union, and we hope that everybody will, because that's how we have the strength to get anything done. And so you'll be hearing from our union representatives and organizers about how to join. And also we'll be having meetings, and we have questions in the chat about when will chapter meetings take place. And you will be hearing from your reps and from the union about dates and times for chapter meetings. We're a union that's very proud of our communications. We regularly communicate to our members by email, updating you on what we're doing, on the issues that we're facing, the fights we're taking on, and so on. We have regular meetings, monthly membership meetings, which are usually the second Saturday of every month, 10 a.m. online. These days, COVID days, they're online. And we also have a website with a lot of information about the union, teamsters2010.org. We really urge you to go on there and check out all the information that's on there. If you ever have a question, reach out to your union rep. All of their contact information is on the website, their cell phones, their email addresses. They're always available in order to answer your questions. Okay. And the website is teamsters2010.org. Maybe we can put that in there. Some people are asking questions about feeling that they're not paid properly, that they're not placed on the salary scale properly. Well, one of the things that we do is, if that's the case, then your union rep can work with you to look into that and see if that's something that we can remedy. And I don't know if anyone wants to say more about that, but we have some questions in the chat on that.
Jason, there are a lot of questions about being a supervisor. Did you want to address that?
Yes. So yeah, I'm seeing, I see it says that if one person is asking if I supervise one temporary worker, does that mean that I'm excluded from the union? And I think the answer to that is no. I think that all of the AO2s are represented unless that they're true supervisors hiring, firing, discipline more than 2 people. But actually Mary or Melissa may have a better idea about that than more specific than I do.
No, I mean, this is one of those gray areas of the law, and you get different answers from different people. But I don't think with the temp, but I'm not sure. If you hire and fire, I think you're considered a supervisor, and then it's a conflict of interest to be in the same union with the people that you supervise. So it would, you know, supervisors aren't always really supervisors, very much they're leads, right? So if you schedule somebody, you know, or if you sort of have input into the performance evaluation, you train them, that doesn't make you a supervisor. You have to really have the independent judgment to hire someone, fire them, make the decision in consultation with labor relations or whomever to fire them or discipline them. That makes you a supervisor.
So I see a question: if supervisors feel threatened about AO2s now being in the union, what do we do? So, you know, some supervisors may not be used to working with the union. In our view, that everyone should be happy, including supervisors, that there is a union, because that's, you know, when we have the union, we're able to identify and resolve issues and problems in the workplace, and then get back to work and get back to business. And that's what, when things are functioning well, that's what happens. We're in the Teamsters union. We're not a union that says, you know, we hate the employer, we want to burn the place down. That's not where we're at. Most of our members like working for University of California, support the mission of the university, and want it to be successful. We want the university to be successful, and we work hard to make that happen. We just think that while we're being successful, let's take good care of the workers that are making it successful. And that's the role of the union. So I think once your supervisor gets the opportunity to work with us and see, you know, the Teamsters, we have generally a good, productive working relationship with UC management. We don't always agree. We don't always see eye to eye. But we get, you know, we work together to get problems solved and get the work done.
Can I say something real fast? There are questions about AO3s. We are organizing AO3s. You can contact your rep and they'll put you in touch with the organizers. But if you're an AO3, call your friends, and yes, we want OA3s too.
Okay, please speak more about the IAP structure and how it will change once we are in the union. Does anyone have?
I have an information request in that was sent to San Francisco also, and that's one of the things that I've made an information request about at San Francisco.
Okay.
How it's going to work.
Other questions? Unfortunately, I witnessed non-represented employees management treating represented employees poorly. There's a bias at UCI. Well, you know, one of the things that we yeah. So, and that's been actually a big priority for our union over the past 10 years and you know, before, is dealing with disrespectful, unfair treatment, abusive conduct at work. And our union's been in the forefront on that. We actually have language in this contract, Article 33, fair and respectful treatment, which is some of the best language in any contract on that issue. It requires management to treat workers fairly and respectfully in all interactions. And if they don't, we can file a grievance and take the issue on. Our union even put forward and passed a law, AB 2053, a few years ago now, which was the first anti-bullying law, requires that part of the harassment training that managers have to get include training on avoiding abusive conduct in the workplace. So that's an issue that we take very seriously. Our members deserve to be treated with respect and fairness in all interactions, and we enforce that and fight for that. Okay, other questions? Will I make less money last year than this year due to joining the union? No, we will bargain for increases, not decreases. Also, contractual increases going forward that we win in the contract, you're now entitled to as a member of the bargaining unit. Okay, so our reps and organizers will reach out to you to ask you to join the union. The question, is there a deadline? No, there's not a deadline. We ask that people, that people join the union, but there's not a particular deadline. We hope you'll join sooner rather than later and get involved. Will we find out about any benefit changes, vacation, sick accrual rates, or retirement through our local rep? Yeah, and so our union will send out regular communications, including if there are any changes in benefits or open enrollment or anything like that. We always send out communications to the membership to let people know about it. How are new AO2s who have just joined the union able to bargain for their salary step? Or will we stay at our current pay for now and then we get the yearly 3% raise? So yeah, so you'll get raises going forward, but also we will now bargain about placement on the salary steps, which may, we will push for increases to be part of that process. I don't know if Tanya or Melissa, if you want to add anything about that process.
We just did that.
Yeah, so I think we actually should let Melissa talk more about that process. She's going to be heading up the bargaining. She just finished the records analyst. She's our chief of staff genius leader in all matters of classification and this type of bargaining. So Melissa, thank you for all your work. Go ahead.
Sure, thank you. So as Tanya mentioned, we just wrapped negotiations for the Records Analyst 2 title. It was a smaller bargaining table, and I see a lot of questions in the chat relevant to how long, when does all this stuff happen? So strategically, what we were hoping to do is, have this series of welcome meetings today, followed by chapter meetings and location-based meetings, and then we need to quickly go into surveying the members, right? Which is you, all of you on the call. What we see from request data from the university, what they could pay you and what they do pay you, and there's a big difference. And we think that there will be a large benefit to going to the table and making a lot of persuasive arguments as to why they should guarantee a pay range and a mechanism for you to go through it. So a couple other questions about the pay raises in the contract. You will get any of the pay raises in the contract or any of the benefits in the contract. And in addition to that, there's always been a clause in the contract that allows any department, any supervisor, anybody with money to pay you more, to give you additional step increases. For those of you that are worried that you may have done better in merit pools, your department has the mechanism under the contract to pay you more. So back to the bargaining process, we're hoping that the survey can be issued to the members. It'll be digital sometime within the next 2 to 3 weeks. From there, we can have some, meetings with folks. We can set up Zooms just like this and talk about the survey results and what folks are willing to commit to. And Jason mentioned very early on in the call, the need for membership and the need for a show of strength. And it's like anything, right? If we go to the bargaining table with a very solid show of support within the AO2 community, the university as an employer is going to know that we're very serious about bargaining for these folks and that they're committed to doing things to support the negotiation process. So we're only as strong as our members. If we don't have a lot of union participation and support when we go into bargaining, whether it's wearing a sticker or a button or putting your screensaver on, something about bargaining to show, your colleagues and your supervisors that you're serious about exercising your voice and getting those contract gains that you so desperately want. So the bargaining process will happen. You can get extra money out of the contract. Your boss has the mechanism to do it. And I just wanted to point out, it wasn't in the chat yet. In order to have input on bargaining or to be on the bargaining team, you need to be a member. So, you know, we're going to be going through this membership recruitment process right now. And it is so that we can show the strength of the members, right? Dues won't be taken out until sometime after the wages are negotiated and agreed to and ratified by the members and then implemented by the UC. So I anticipate realistically that's probably not going to be until next March or so. We'll see how long the UC drags their feet. But I hope that answered some of the questions. I went a little bit around there, but tried to.
And only members can vote on the
On the ratification.
Right.
Yeah, so.
Okay, great, thank you. Okay, we're at 1:08 right now. We still have some questions. And I want to say we have many questions. We're trying to get to all of them. If your question does not get answered, please ask the question of your rep when they call you, or give them a call. Their contact information is on the website or in the chapter meetings. There will also be opportunities to ask more questions. Some of the questions, several asked, will 3% be the most that an AO2 can receive? So as I've said, there's we bargain for across the board pay increases. We currently have 3% per year. But there are other, first of all, as Melissa said, we'll be bargaining in terms of where people go on the step placement, which may result in increases. Also, there's always the opportunity to request increases through the, for equity or for other reasons under the contract. If your supervisor ever tells you that that they'd love to give you a raise, but the union won't let them, I can tell you right now that's never true. We are always for bargaining more raises for our members, not less. And if that should ever occur, we will be very happy to sit down with the supervisor and let them know we're very happy to bargain for increases right now. Okay, others on the panel want to speak or answer questions?
Oh, I just saw a question I wanted to answer. What was the question? Oh, about UC Path. Yes, we fight UC Path all the time. Eva's our UC Path expert, and any problems you have about UC Path, she knows all about it, right?
Well, I would not like to say that we fight UC Path, because UC Path is actually run by our members as well. So what we do have is a problem with the UC Path system. And that computer system is in fact problematic. Everybody knows it because our members are the people doing the collection, answering questions, getting things into the system. Yes, we are aware of what's going on. We work very closely with everybody to try and get them resolved. My personal goal is that people understand it's the system that needs some work. And so that way, you know, you wouldn't want to be looking at your fellow union brothers and sisters and say that their work is not up to par, because they're working really hard for you. They just got a challenge in getting it there. Though, just so you know, the Teamster members are the people that you're going to be talking to for open enrollment. The ESAs, the Employee Service Associates, are the people on the phone that you're going to be talking to, and those are Teamster members. So, you know, they care about trying to get you good answers, and they do the best they can within the system.
So you can tell your rep and then we can route them to Eve.
Okay, other panelists want to add to what's been said? Okay, here's one. What's your rate of success bargaining for equity increase and raises?
Good.
And
No,
Mary-
San Francisco's good.
Yeah. So Mary does a great job, and all our reps do, at fighting for what's fair for our members, and we do
Rocio's
it.
great at it too.
Jason, there's a question regarding, does this move to union coverage affect open enrollment? So the answer is yes. We do have a cap in our contract where they cannot raise the monthly rate more than $25. So you are, yes, you are covered under that part of the contract, or it says that you do not more than $25
for certain bands. So it depends on how much they're making, what band they're in.
Yeah, so it depends on the it's band 1 and 2. But contact the union rep if you have more questions regarding that.
Okay, we're a little bit over time. Do any of the panelists want to add anything to what we've said?
San Francisco's will have their first chapter meeting on a week from today at noon, and you'll be getting emails. I hope if we have your email address.
Okay. Well, we really appreciate everybody being on this meeting. If your question was not answered, please go to teamsters2010.org for more information. Also, call your rep, attend the chapter meeting, attend our membership meeting, get involved in the union. We're only as strong as our members, and our union's a very strong and effective union that we've accomplished great things together for our membership. And together with the AO2s, we're going to be stronger, and we're going to do even better. So we really urge everybody to get involved. We welcome you to the Teamster family. Thanks for being with us today. And we look forward to meeting you again. By the way, I think we're doing this again this evening, right? Do I have that right? Okay.
6 o'clock.
At 6 p.m. Yeah. So feel free to join that one as well. And make sure to attend your chapter meetings. And most importantly, we ask you to join the Teamsters Union, get involved, because we're stronger together, and together we're going to accomplish great things for AO2s at the university. So thanks for being with us.
You're welcome.
Okay, I think that does it. Thanks, everybody.